Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Flashback 64, the chronological Nintendo 64 podcast. I am Gooey, joined as always by my co-host McKenna.
Hello.
We're hitting the slopes again.
Yeah.
So soon.
Back in winter mode.
Back in winter mode, which I guess is, by the time this is coming out,
We're like almost in
wanna,
actual winter.
Yeah, you're going to want to consider that mindset. Though in our timeline, we're hitting spring mode. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. We'll figure that out. 1080 snowboarding is our main topic of today, which we've had a lot of fun preparing for, and we've got a special guest with us today. You may know him from his great gaming retrospectives over on YouTube. We are joined by Alien Bob. Hey, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. This is my very first podcast ever, by the way.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
An honor for both of us.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're glad to have you. I mean, I want to say I'm a big fan of your channel and your videos. For people who don't know, I think it's fair to say you cover a lot of like deep cut or like kind of weird games. Is that fair to say?
I suppose obscure and not often covered is my own criterion. Yeah.
I loved your Amsterdam video. That was fantastic. We both loved it as people are both like we're kind of into right now that era of shooters, but also like we love games that are like McKenna in particular. You love games that are like about places, like real places.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool to watch that and see like how like seeing that with like the real places in Amsterdam, like that was an amazing video.
Thank you. Yeah, I put a lot of work into that. They tend to also have a personal connection for me somehow, or some kind of memory I'm trying to uncover.
Yeah,
which is
that was a great.
That's why 1080 is perfect for me. Also, actually.
Sweet. Okay. Well, then, yeah, that's my. Before we like talk about the game proper, I guess just in general, the N64. Like, what's kind of your backstory with the Nintendo 64?
Well, I was always a Nintendo kid. My earliest memories are watching my brother play Mario on the NES. And my first contact with the N64 is actually with Cruisin' USA, the arcade version.
Very nice.
Which, had the big coming to Ultra 64 splash thing going on.
Right, yeah.
And then I actually got to I got to play with a demo N64 unit in an electronics store. And this was on Aruba.
Oh.
That's where I lived at the time. That was probably the first N64 on the island in that electronics store,
Okay, that's sick. Okay.
Yeah, and just blown away by the 3D graphics and seeing Mario walk around and all that stuff coming from the Super Nintendo. And then, I suppose a year later, my mom came back from a business trip to the States, and I woke up that morning, and under the TV was installed a Nintendo 64, which was like one of the happiest days of my life. I think San Francisco Rush was in it, which also sparked a whole love story with that franchise. And it just kind of grew from there. I was a Nintendo 64 kid. That's awesome. Where my allowance money went.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, San Francisco Rush, another game about a place that I know, McKenna, you really got into that concept of like looking at the real life location. What was you said you lived in Aruba? What was like did the N64, it launched there? Like, I don't know when it launched there. Was it around the same time as is it like the North American 1996 or do you remember? Okay, it was.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as accessible as immediately. It would probably have taken a few months before it became more commonly available because they had to be imported and whatever. But basically it's all the American stuff, all the NTSC stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well,
when I got into the gaming magazines and stuff, Electronic Gaming Monthly and all that stuff I would get every month.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I got into it, and then the internet opened me up to even more. So
sweet. Well, perfect. We got to get into your personal story with 1080, but first, we're going to do our flashback segment where we talk about the actual date this game came out. We're moving forward. Our last episode we did was on Rampage World Tour, which came out March 30th, 1998, and in North America. And 1080 dropped April 16th, 1998. And I tried to look up like what was like popular in like music and movies at the time in Dutch culture and stuff, and actually we had a lot of like overlap in this year, so I didn't have any cool like deep cuts to drop on you, but maybe we can see what you thought about these songs. Let's see, top tracks. We had It Was All My Life by Casey and JoJo. It went on a 3-week run at number 1. Are you a fan?
I don't know if I'm a fan, but it is like it has been smashed into my brain so much that I can just hear it right now. Yeah.
I sang it on the last episode. I won't make you hear that. But we do got to know. Okay, so for album and movie. So the album, we've said it on a million episodes. Titanic, music from the motion picture, 13 weeks at number 1.
Oh, I'm glad I'm still in that window. Yeah,
you're just missing it we're just ending it because Titanic, it comes to an end. Its 15-week run at number 1, and it's ended by the movie Lost in Space, and then followed up by City of Angels.
Jeez.
What do you? First of all, I guess we got to ask everyone what they thought about Titanic, but also, do you have any thoughts or memories on Lost in Space or the Nick Cage classic City of Angels?
Oh my God, all 3 of them. Titanic,
really? Okay.
Of course. Titanic, it's the movie of 1997. Mm-hmm. I guess I would have been 11 or 12 when I saw it.
Okay, nice.
I went with my mom and an aunt. So it got a little awkward during the sex scenes.
Sure. But they cover your eyes or anything?
No, they just made fun of me, I guess. But we were pretty open about that kind of stuff. But it's still awkward to see that with a parent at that age.
Of course.
But I do remember liking the movie. All
right.
You hear a lot that like people like, oh, the romance and whatever, but the romance was effective. But most importantly, that guy fell off the ship and hit the propeller, and that was really cool.
Finally, someone well, first of all, most people we've talked to either didn't see it or had no interest in it. So it's great to get someone who finally respects this classic. That needs, it needs people to stick up for it, obviously.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Also, actually, now that I'm thinking back to it, I'm getting a memory of finding like a $20 bill in the theater that night.
Whoa.
So now that's a very good memory.
We talk about it a little bit on our Patreon if people want to hear us talk more about Lost in Space and City of Angels.
Matt LeBlanc, right?
Matt LeBlanc is in it, yeah. It was his attempt at movie stardom, and not quite.
Didn't really work. And a terrible little CG monkey.
Yes, I'm remembering. Yeah. Okay, you have a great memory for these movies that no one should remember.
Well, I do the same thing with games, so it makes sense, I suppose.
They've been jettisoned into an uncharted universe.
We really are lost, aren't we?
And hurled into a new dimension.
Those portals all lead to different times.
Yeah, but which one leads us home?
On April 3rd, the search for Earth begins.
Get us airborne.
Lost in Space.
Have you seen? Actually, I'm trying to think. What was the name of the City of Angels? It's a remake of a German film. Was it Wings of Desire? Have you seen that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I didn't even know it was a remake.
Okay. I was just taking a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems we talk about it a little bit on our Patreon, so people go pay us money, but like you watch that movie and when you find out it's like a remake of a German movie, you can be like, I feel like anything good in this is possibly from that movie, but I don't have anything to substantiate that.
Can you see me?
Oh yeah, we can see you all right.
Yeah, your invisible drug will off. Is this blood? This is blood. Is it red? Red. Is it red? Color.
In video games, April 14th, the Game Boy Light was released in Japan. We didn't get that over here. It was a Game Boy with a backlit screen. I actually didn't even know about that this existed until recently, so pretty sweet. I would have loved to have had that. I had the light,
The lamp.
the light thing. So, but Bob, did you play a lot of Game Boy at the time? As well, you were a Nintendo kid.
I had a OG fat Game Boy brick that I had like 4 games for, maybe one of which I was able to actually complete. You know, there was like I had like a True Lies game that was incredibly difficult. Yeah, there's a True Lies Game Boy game that I never got past the first level in like a decade of owning it.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's the James Cameron one, right?
Yep.
Okay. I for a minute, in my mind, I did the thing right. Swapped it with True Romance.
Oh.
You're fired.
This was before the Game Boy Color, right? The Game Boy Light only just came out, and the Game Boy Color hadn't come out yet. Yeah,
I believe the Game Boy Color comes out late '98, so we're getting close to it.
Yeah, it would have had to because Pokemon comes out in '98.
Yeah,
and I got a Game Boy Color and Pokemon Yellow.
We're awaiting the arrival. It could be out in Japan at this point too.
I think that revived the Game Boy for me a bit. I think I had probably left the Game Boy behind quite a bit. You know, I got it in like 1990, 91. So by 98, it was in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah,
and then I got a Game Boy Color, and then it's back to like, now I can get Super Mario Brothers and Game & Watch Gallery 4.
Yeah, I think I started like playing a relative's like old brick Game Boy. I never like had one myself, and then the Game Boy Color was like my first Game Boy. So, which makes sense. I was 8 around this time, so perfect age to get Pokemon and what else. 1080 also came out the same day as our next game we're going to be talking about, which is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, which also they dropped it on. There was a Game Boy release of that as well at the same time. So we're not going to move forward in time on our next episode, unfortunately. But
how many days have you had where there's been more than one N64 game released?
Well,
other than launch day,
it's been never. I don't think we're coming up.
Football games?
Oh yeah, that was true. The Madden and NFL Quarterback Club came out the same day. Otherwise, I think it's been a couple days. Like, you know, that early N64, there was a bit of a drought. But as looking forward, the episodes we're recording in like this December and January. Like, there's 3 that came out on the same day. Like 1998 starts to get a bit more, you know, more juice in the library. So we're getting there. This is a good sign. These are 2 good games back to back. Spoilers for our next episode. But
wait, you think 1080 Snowboarding is a good game?
You're making me nervous now.
I'm just having fun.
Whew, oh my gosh. And then here's the part where we say comparatively, I'm going to name a dozen PS1 games. You can tell me if any of these mean anything to you. But it always shows how much more choice you had with the PS1. Basto? Is that a game? I wrote that word down. Someone's gonna be like, Basto, it's a classic. I don't know what that is. Judge Dredd.
Blasto?
Is it Blasto? Maybe I just forgot the L. Blasto? Someone fact check me. I think I might have just typed this in a fugue state. Okay, Judge Dredd, Biofreaks, which we will talk about on this show.
A classic.
Newman/Haas Racing, Rascal, Real Fishing, Saga Frontier. You know how it's like S, capital S, A, capital G, Saga Frontier.
I guess it's Saga, yeah.
VR Sports Powerboat Racing, World Cup 98, MLB 99, Theme Hospital, Point Black, and then on PC you had Warhammer, Dark Omen, and StarCraft. So that's kind of your big one.
Never heard of it.
You must construct additional pylons.
Was it Blasto?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Blasto was the Phil Hartman game, I remember.
Oh,
I think
R.
he voiced the character, and it was like a big flop.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. R.I.P. Phil.
It literally looks like The Incredibles.
Yeah, The Incredibles stole it, for sure.
You pear-headed little freak!
Hey everyone, my name's Darren Hupke. I'm a writer, publisher, and podcaster. My podcast is called Pixels and Polygons. Each week I sit down with a guest and ask one simple video game question. It's a random topic each week and it leads to a fun conversation. You can find it on your favorite podcast platform every Friday, and you can read more about it at pixelsandpolygons.net.
1080 Snowboarding is a snowboarding game in which you'll choose from 5 different snowboarders with different skill sets to race down the mountain or perform the coolest tricks. Choose a board based on 1999 snowboard models and race in a match race, time attack, or versus. In a match race, you'll compete against a CPU in a series of courses, advancing to the next once you've won. You'll start with 4 normal difficulty courses, but you'll unlock 5 hard and 6 expert level difficulty courses as you clear each level. In time attack, you'll race by yourself to beat your own times, and in versus, you'll race against one other player. There are also a couple of trick modes. In trick attack, you'll perform grab tricks and spin tricks by pressing various button combinations. You'll have the game's regular courses to choose from, as well as an air make and half pipe course. The contest mode contains a series of 3 slalom courses, plus the air make and half pipe, where you'll compete for the highest score. Head to the lodge for a day on the slopes in 1080 Snowboarding.
Nice. I didn't see that last line before. I love that select screen. It's such a great vibe.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in this one.
Yeah.
It's actually fun to do. But okay, Bob, you said you have some history with this game. What's your 1080 story?
Oh, well, I could basically afford like 1 to 3 N64 games a year. And I watched your episode on Snowboard Kids recently.
Yes.
And you were talking about how, snowboarding was becoming this thing, right? It was added to the Olympics. And I was thinking, too, about in the context of extreme sports were becoming cool.
Yes.
And I had this thought, too, that winter sports always have a kind of, they're not cheap to partake in, generally, as compared to, say, something like skateboarding, which you can just do on the street, right?
Yeah.
So there's also this kind of high class element, and snowboarding, even now, I would say, just looks cool because you're just on a board and you're just gliding, and it's like the closest thing we have invented to a hoverboard.
Sure, yeah.
Skiing looks kind of dorky. You got 2 skis and poles, and it feels very snobby. But snowboarding is like the cool, badass version of skiing.
Absolutely, yeah. You look, radical.
Yeah, exactly. You're sideways. There's just a coolness factor to it that is kind of unusual, at least in this era for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And also it has like this branded element. It has the Tommy Hilfiger and the snowboarding brand added to it, which, and you're coming into this period where obviously the PlayStation is winning and is kind of clearly appealing to an older audience with more licensed stuff and real brands. So having a Nintendo game with like Tommy Hilfiger clothes, it feels kind of like what's going on here? What are they doing? They're trying something new.
Yeah.
And then attached to that, incidentally, is just an overall fantastic game.
Absolutely. It okay. Whew. Thank goodness we agree. Did you ever do like any of these winter sports? Do you ever go snowboarding or anything?
My first time on a mountain was last year, and it was in spring.
Okay, yeah, fair.
So no. Aruba is a very warm island. I didn't leave it very often, and the tallest point is like 180 meters. So
that's fair.
No, yeah.
So
that's just a fantasy realm for me at this point.
Okay, it must have been crazy when you. I live. It's a little different, but I grew up in like the Midwest, and it's all flat. And like the first time I saw a mountain, it did kind of like shake me to my core a little bit.
Yeah. For me, it was a trip to Switzerland last year, and I'm in the Netherlands now, so I'm not used to even seeing a hill or any kind of elevation difference other than buildings. So seeing the Alps just kind of rise up into the sky forever is kind of life altering. Yeah.
It makes sense why like people would like worship these things and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine like not even knowing about the concept of a mountain and then seeing a mountain, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
Of course the gods live there. Of course.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, well I will say there is a great game attached, and I've been trying to give some credits in the episode, and this game this does have like a solid noteworthy team behind it. It's directed by Masamachi Abe, who previously worked on Tekken's 1 through 3 in various degrees. I think he kind of moved up the ladder, I believe, as that went on. He's still at Nintendo. He's done Pikmin and more. It was also directed by Mitsuhiro Tanaka, who was the software design director on the Super Game Boy. He also did the demo sequence on Wave Race 64, the script writer on Star Fox 64. He'll work on a bunch of Zelda, and he's at Atlas now. And it was programmed by Giles Goddard, who worked at Argonaut Games, who we've talked about. He worked on Star Fox. He did Mario's face in Super Mario 64. He did that whole thing, where you
imagine being the guy who did that. What a legacy.
Legend.
That's a legend. So him and the other programmer, I believe, is another, I can't remember if he's another Argonaut guy, but Colin Reed. And he also worked on Pikmin, and now he mainly works on the Forza series. So, good pedigree there, I would say. Yeah. And I think it's a pretty rock solid game in terms of, it does have to be one of the coolest games on the library so far, like beyond like ones that are like trying really hard to be like edgy or whatever. Like this is like an effortlessly cool one that I could see like if you're a teenager at the time getting into. What'd you think, McKenna?
Yeah, definitely. This is one that I actually played when I was a kid. We haven't hit many of those yet. So, my memories of that are kind of more dreamlike at this point, but
sure. We're getting to memories, though.
It's definitely stuck in my head as like this game with a big cool factor, and not something that I thought about at the time at all. But just seeing now that it was, it's a Nintendo game. It's such a different vibe from most of their other games. But they managed to pull off the cool factor better than most of the other people doing it at the time with the like 90s vibe.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I can think close to it is like how they like Wave Race is kind of, but that's not as
it's still not
cool.
Quite. Yeah.
Wave Race has a little bit of the more mid 90s colorfulness.
Some cheese.
Yeah. Joyful, but not cool. Cool, but not cool. Yeah, not as suave.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for the Tommy Hilfiger wearing cool kids.
Yeah. I definitely remember just going to the ski lodge and picking out the snowboarder. They were all cool, but I always had to pick the female snowboarder because I just always chose the female character when I was a kid.
She's cool. She has I played her because I thought she had the stats that I thought were appropriate for me. But she's the coolest.
Yeah, and I love how they're just like spaced out through the lodge. They're just hanging out in different places, and not just like lined up.
That's something we've kind of. It's not always Nintendo, but like pretty much all of their first party games on the console have had like this extra like level of presentation to it, and like I feel like that is very exemplary of that sort of thing. Like that is a very solid, like cool character selection screen.
Mm-hmm.
Very confident. You know?
Work your body.
Oh man, and the music is so good.
Yes, and I have the music was composed by Kenta Nagata, who did Mario Kart 64. Also is the composer for Animal Crossing. Does some other Zelda stuff. I wrote down specifically he wrote Dragon Roost Island for Wind Waker, which is
an all-timer.
One of the best Zelda songs for sure. So yeah, shout out. Incredible sound, kind of a mix again for the cool factor. We were just listening to some. It goes back and forth from like the techno vibe, and then there's also like hard rock songs, but they're like actual. I mean, they're kind of cheesy now, but if you compare it to like Wave Race, for example, they're a bit more like hard rock, you know?
So many samples.
Oh, cool samples. Yeah.
So many weird samples. Yeah.
I definitely think the like sort of techno electronic music holds up better now listening to it. Like I probably wouldn't like actively listen to like a lot of the rock tracks like on my own, but I could see like myself going back and like, you know, loading up my MP3 player with, you know, Work Your Body and some of the other ones with the cool samples and stuff.
Solid gym music.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it gets you going for sure to work your body.
Yeah, and call toll free now.
That's that's probably like the best track actually. What's so playing it? You know, when you revisited it, like what struck you about just like the general gameplay, Bob? Like, what'd you think about it?
It holds up really well.
Mm-hmm.
It still feels just really good to just shred the slopes, you know. And I think a game like this, it lives and dies by how does it feel to move, and there's like an intricacy to it and a depth, but also it just feels so natural to slide down that hill or carve through that ice or try to avoid like the little bumpy sections. And it just, even now, almost 30 years later, it feels perfect. And that's you know, I play a lot of old games, and a lot of times you have to kind of set aside this idea that it's going to feel good because it was made for an older time. I was playing this on my Wii U just in bed, and I just disappeared into it, you know. It's a very zen kind of experience, actually. Like, the races can get a little frustrating, especially because of the damage and you know, if you lose a life, you know, those kinds of weird systems. But the actual just feeling of the snowboarding feels fantastic, and I love it.
Yeah, I like, well, we did a stream where we like played it with our friends, and we did multiplayer, and we played played with some friends IRL a few months ago, but then I played this like I did a lot of like, especially like sports and racing titles, where I just want to like play it a lot to kind of take it all in. I played it the way I play a lot of the games that I say on the podcast, is just like while we're watching wrestling. And you know, our last episode we were talking about Rampage World Tour, and it was like I was doing that. I was watching, you know, guys body slamming each other and stuff, and I'm playing this game, and it's still like, after like so long, it's like, I don't even want to keep playing this. It gets old. But like this, I was like, I did like, much like you, I kind of fell into a trance with it, where it's like, I almost like I got sucked into it more than whatever else was going on. It does feel so good. McKenna, how do you think it compared to Snowboard Kids, which we only covered like a handful of episodes ago?
I like how 1080 controls better in general, particularly with tricks. It does tricks so much better. I think they're both fun to race, but I do think I like this. It definitely has that zen feeling a bit more. You know, Snowboard Kids is a bit more chaotic.
Yeah,
it can be a little stressful sometimes. And
obviously, it is like, it's a little bit of apples and oranges. It's like comparing Mario Kart to Gran Turismo or something like that. You know, it's almost not the same genre, but
I was definitely nervous just because I hadn't played it since I played it I was probably playing it in the early 2000s. And I was like, is this going to control well? I don't know. I don't remember if I was probably terrible at it because I was like 5 playing it. I was like, is this going to be okay to play? And then we played it and I was like, this is really nice. It feels good.
Yeah. When we first started, it took us a minute to get used to a couple of things.
Yeah.
Like Bob, you were talking about the feel of it. Like, there's a lot of, it's not just that it's like, okay, like, the steering feels good. There's like a lot of like subtlety to like the way you jump and the way you can crouch and land.
Exactly.
And stuff.
Yeah.
So it has a good physicality.
Board control is very important. Yeah. You're not just pointing forward. You're really trying to kind of catch the snow almost.
And I like that little detail of like that crouch button of like, okay, I can like get a little bit more speed here, but like I got to be careful, especially once you start doing the tracks multiple times. You're like, okay, I know like up here it's like really hard to turn, like it's a sharp turn, so maybe I don't want to like get going too fast, or I don't want to crouch there.
You're just on a road, so your turn is like you're on the asphalt, so you don't have a lot of turn control.
I was kind of surprised, like it must have been a really icy road. I mean, we were accepting of a lot of stuff in Snowboard Kids, so I'm not complaining. But I was like, "Wow, can you do this?" Probably not.
You waxed the board enough.
If you're, you got some speed going.
It really took us some time to get used to like not falling from a high fall, but that actually becomes like a part of like what locks me into it a little bit, because that like it just becomes like almost like I still mess it up, but it becomes like almost second nature, and I feel like it does engage you with the game just slightly more, where you have to be paying attention, but it's not like hard, it's very subtle, like that little extra bit of like trying to get your landing without spilling out or whatever. It's a good feel. And all the I mean, we talked about like the different racers and the different boards. That's cool, but like all the different tracks are kind of cool and unique too. Like obviously, like it doesn't have the like as wacky of like differences compared to like Snowboard Kids, but they do a good job of like, it's not just like, oh, here's like, of course you're on some snowy mountain, but they make them all feel distinct. Did you feel that way, Bob, when playing?
Oh, absolutely. Like the amount of tracks isn't that much, but they're all long. They're all pretty long and even within themselves pretty diverse. Like you go from a mountainy area to a town area through a forest. And I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but there's also different times of day. Like there's like a sunset, like this beautiful orange glow. Yeah. And the game still looks quite good too, which is, especially for an N64 game, very impressive.
I think most definitely.
I think those blurry N64 textures work really well for snow.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And
but also like the clothes flapping in the wind. Like when you're really going at speed and your jacket is like kind of moving around a bit. That's for 1998 too. That's like, whoa, mind-blowing detail.
That little extra detail.
I remember the next time I saw that was like in GTA Vice City or something. But that's 2002, 2003, something like that. So that's such a beautiful, tiny little detail that also feels like a technical marvel at the same time.
Yeah, it blows me. And I was thinking about this too while playing, like just, we were talking about like the heightened presentation. Like I feel like obviously like Nintendo is probably going to know how to best take advantage of their console. And like, whatever, the cartridge space in it and everything. I assume that. I'm going to sound dumb because I'm not a tech person, but they do all that while also like, a majority of the games we play require like you also have to have like a memory card to save and everything. And like this, they got it all there on the cartridge, and you can also save. Like, I don't know how that all works, but like, it just kind of blows my mind that it feels like such a total solid package, and it doesn't feel like there's not a lot of like weird seams to it or anything that's like, what's going on here? Everything feels good about it.
It doesn't feel compromised. at all.
Yeah. That's a great way to say it. Even in like, there's the other modes, and I mean, we didn't play them so much, but I thought those were, every mode was quite fun. And compared to, I think when we did like the Snowboard Kids ones, we tried some of out, and they were all right, but it was like, you're like, really, I'm just here for like the racing more so than anything.
Yeah, I mean, with I was talking about, I like how they do the tricks in this more than Snowboard Kids, so that just inherently makes the trick mode more fun.
Yes, yeah, the trick mode is a lot more fun, and it's still not even like I feel like the pinnacle of like this type of game, because I feel like Tony Hawk comes around and kind of changes even more so of like how we think about tricks in like extreme sports games, but I feel like the foundation is kind of here. Like, it doesn't feel too dissimilar. But obviously, like, it is a bit weird, like doing the spins. Like doing a 1080 or whatever. It does feel kind of weird. I don't know if did you do much of the trick mode, Bob?
I remember never really being able to succeed in the air make. I was always panicking while in the air, and I maybe could do a grab or a 180. I know, I looked it up, because there's like unlockables, right? There's like you can get the gold racer and the crystal and the penguin snowboard and stuff. And I think for one of them, you need to do a 1080 in both directions. And I remember that being extremely difficult, but at least it's just during the training mode, which has no time limit or whatever. You just get that 3-mile long half pipe. So I must have at some point when I was younger been able to do 2 1080s in both directions, but I remember those inputs the timing being very, very specific, and you needed to get a lot of air. I wasn't a huge fan of the tricks really myself, but they don't get in the way. It's not like for the main racing mode you need to be doing tricks or anything to get like a speed boost or anything like that. It's kind of integrated well in that if you want to do tricks, here's some extra modes you can do tricks in, and for the rest it's just for style.
Yeah, I didn't do them. In fact, if I'm doing like the match race, I'm avoiding like ramps and stuff like that. I'm like, I want to stay on the ground. But I did like that other mode where it was like you do the race with like the red and blue flags. Slalom, yeah, and then you do the trick mode. But also, if you did tricks in the slalom part, like you would still get points added to your score. I'm pretty sure. So like, I like that you had kind of the option to do them, and I don't know. I thought they were fun. They're fun to do. It definitely isn't like the tightest, but it's actually a mode that I don't mind. Like, I would play it more than just like the one time to check it out.
Yeah, it's not like the greatest thing ever, but coming off of Snowboard Kids and Winter Olympics, it's way better than those.
No doubt. More like the Winter Olympics one was, not great. That was probably the worst game in the whole collection for sure. So, did you have a standout course?
I don't know if there was one in particular. I tend to think of like certain like little set pieces in each course. Like
there was
this building that we all tried going through, and then eventually I was like, screw this, I'm going over the little hills.
What were those called? What are the little...
We looked this up. They have like a funky little name.
There's a lot of Bob, I don't know if you're up on your like snowboarding terminology, but if you read like the game manual, like you can actually kind of learn a lot. Well, you could learn a lot, but we didn't, because like I don't remember any of the terms. I feel like the hills were called, they were called moguls.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, like business moguls.
Yeah. But you do have the ability to learn a bit about snowboarding.
It's an educational title.
Absolutely, yeah. We had that. So I don't know what it is. Maybe we played online with our friends on the Nintendo Classics service or whatever, and we did some competitive racing, which was fun. But we also did just like the match race, taking turns, and to not lose our lives, we would like create a save state before each level, and we had to redo some of them like multiple times. Even on the easiest level, it was like this is hard. Not that hard, but it was like challenging. But then when I went, maybe it was just because we played it enough that night, but then I went later and played it like on N64 on our CRT TV, and it was like it was not that hard. It was just like fun and easy. So I don't know if just like playing it directly on, if there was some lag or something going on, but it was like a totally different game when we went to it. It was still fun to play it that way, but it was all right on the Wii U. You said you were playing on the Wii U, Bob?
Yeah, I hacked my Wii U recently.
Oh, sick.
Just to have it like, I don't have it attached to a TV. I just have the gamepad next to my bed.
That's awesome. That sounds like an awesome way to play
I need
it.
to use it for something, And I know the Wii U is like a great emulation device, and it's very easy to hack.
I feel that gamepad feels like it would feel good to play 1080
It was good.
on.
It was good. I think because the Switch, at least the Joy-Cons, if you're holding the Switch like a handheld, not very great to play N64 games on.
I agree.
But the gamepad is fine because the sticks are bigger and the grips are more comfortable, and everything is a little more solid and less clicky. And so I had no problems with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a big thing with like pretty much all the games on there where it's like, I'll tell people like you should, if you can play with like the N64 controller like thing, you probably should, because like people will tell us like, oh, this game is bad. It doesn't control, like, it's like, no, I think it's like, I don't know, some games it is like night and day going straight to it. But we did use the N64 controller, so I don't know what the situation was there, but
just the lag probably.
Yeah, maybe just even being online with other people, but the actual like racing is fun too. Like against like humans is fun. It doesn't have you don't have the it doesn't Snowboard Kids. You can, I think, go up to 4 players, but this you can only do 2-player split screen. But I would say it's still pretty fun. You obviously you can't shoot items at people or anything, but
you can knock each other. Actually, we didn't do that when we were in the multiplayer, but when we were doing against the CPU, we were knocking over the other snowboarder.
I felt there was like a strategy in that. Yeah,
it's a valid strategy. Absolutely, they do it to you.
Yeah.
That would piss me off if I was like so close. I had like 1 or 2 bars left of life, and I took a hit. Ugh.
I'm just thinking about in real life getting back up after you fall over on a snowboard. Because you're like, it's awkward. I've only done it once, but it's awkward to get back up
and get the little how you get back going.
Jump.
Yeah, I've never snowboarded or skied like legit, so I wouldn't know. I loved the match like race aspect of it. I played a lot of it, and I got through the expert one. And I finally last night I lost on that last it was like, what's it called, like big drop or something. I kept losing to that crystal guy, but I finally beat him and I got the crystal guy. I haven't unlocked anything else, but that was extremely satisfying. And I like I kind of like the live system, though it does start to stress you out on the later ones where you have to do so many courses, and sometimes you can lose by like a second.
Yeah, and
be like, oh, it's demoralizing a bit, but that is a fun way to do it. I think like instead of like unlimited continues, I do like there's a little bit of danger there. Bob, did we ask you like who did you play as?
Recently, oh god, I forgot his name. Just the default character, Kensuke.
Oh, yeah.
Kensuke Kimachi. Is it Kensuke Kimachi? Some of the characters are like, I believe some of the characters are overlaps from Wave Race.
Oh, really? Oh my god, what?
I think there's like a little bit of an overlap there. There's a cinematic universe.
Wow.
That or the Albert Wesker looking guy.
Oh, I remember him for some reason. It was like Rob Hayward.
Rob Haywood. Haywood or Hayward, yeah.
Hayward? I don't. He reminded me of. I thought he looked like the singer of The Offspring. What's his name? Dexter? Is that his name? Dexter something? Rob Haywood. Oh yeah, Ryota Hayami.
I think Kensuke Kimachi is a wrestler.
Okay, yeah, he is. He's in Wave Race and Wave Race Blue Storm. Oh, he's Akira Hayami's older brother.
There you go.
Whoa!
Wow.
There's family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Akira Hayami, Ricky Winterborn. That's the most like oh yeah, that was
You were born to do this.
Is he Canadian? Yeah, he's from British Columbia. I said he's like if he's like a J.K. Rowling named
Oh yeah.
Canadian person.
Oh no, I was right. Kensuke Kimachi. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cool characters. The voice voice acting was great for them.
Yeah.
I mean, only little bits, but pretty cool. I liked you did mention like I noticed the like times of day would change from like the modes. So it did give this like added like on the normal mode it was like default, and then the hard mode it was when it was like at sunset, and then the expert mode it would be like snowing and stuff like that. So I sort of like that. It gave it like an escalation in the intensity of it all. And how about I just thought in general, this is something I've noticed between all of the snowboarding games we've played. I thought like I guess you could say the sky boxes all looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly like that last level, you're on it and it's like, it makes it look like you're up really high and there's like another gigantic, it looks like Mount Everest in the background.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
It's funny that you say that because I thought that too. The skyboxes, you're generally not really looking at them because you're kind of looking ahead and the game is pretty fast. But they're these little 3D renders, and then when you take a moment to look at them, they're quite impressive, and they do help give that sense of scale that because the draw distance is pretty good too.
Yes,
you know, like coming from something like San Francisco Rush, where it's like, hey, San Francisco's foggy, right? There's not much of that going on here. It's it feels very natural.
Yeah, it's like the levels that have it, it's like they have versions of the level without it. Like I really only think like when you're playing like the snowy versions of the level, does it really get kind of obscured? But yeah, most of them like you have a decent amount of like draw distance. Yeah, and it feels like a game where they could pull, you know, you could have an excuse for it, but no, you don't really need it.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you have the guy who programmed the Mario face.
Yeah, thank you. What was it? Giles? That's a cool name in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also like thinking of those skyboxes, like compare it to it was. I think it was like the Olympics one, right?
Yeah,
where it's like it feels more natural.
They both like do this like tilty thing,
but you notice it less.
Yeah, like it's almost motion sicknessy in Winter Olympics, where I was like, "What is going on? That's moving way too much."
Yeah, I never like noticed it like overtly or like really felt like, oh, this is really bad. Like anytime I ever like noticed the skybox, it was literally just to go like, oh, that looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that right at least.
Yeah.
Also like reflections.
Reflections
on the ice, real-time reflections with transparency.
That looks so good. Yeah, a lot like all the little touches. That's where the game shines.
Yeah. I think it probably looks better on a CRT because, like on a modern screen, you can kind of see the polygons and stuff. But it's like a lot of little details that weren't very common in any game, and they're all used as small little touches to really just make the general impression beautiful.
You kind of hit on this too, like when you're actually like on those different surfaces, like there is like a genuine, like you do feel different. Like you mentioned the road, but also when you're on the ice, it does feel like you're like slipping along. Like it does feel a little bit out of control, but sometimes some of the courses, it's like, oh, I'll take that route because, you know, I'll get a nice slick path on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hit the wall.
That does happen. Yeah, that is inevitable. I love some of those obstacles though. Like the most memorable one. Do you remember like there's one where you go down a route and there's like the trees and you have to
you gotta crouch.
You actually have to crouch under one. I thought that was cool.
Love that.
That's like classic Nintendo too, right? Where they have like we need somewhere where you need to use this button or this feature. We've added crouch into the game as a general mechanic, but we're going to put at least one place in a level where if you go there, you're going to have to crouch. And it makes it feel like everything's so thought through.
They did a good job too of like, I think about that was like one option as like a path you could take. Like they always had like cool, like even like some of the earlier tracks would present you with like a lot of different options for like routes you could take, and like areas that were like secret that you could jump up to, but you could also kind of like see it. It wasn't like super secret necessarily. And then as you got to like some of the later levels, like that last one, like the big fall level or whatever, like it's like really just like this big wide course, and there's like 4 different routes you can take, and one might be like, oh, it's like this super snowy area, but there's not as many obstacles, or you can go down this like ice tunnel in the middle and it's like super fast, or like in the one level with all the like bridges and caves and stuff like that, there's like so many different ways you can go, and it's kind of like you can figure out like, is this the faster way or the safer way, or
yeah, there's definitely a little risk benefit analysis you got to do on those.
There was like one where it was like you could tell there was something there. There was like trees and stuff like that, but it looked a little like snowy and whatever, or you could just kind of follow the path. But like we kind of found like, oh, you can kind of like jump into that area and like snowboard through the forest. So that was exciting. I'm trying to think anything else. I feel like we've kind of talked about a lot of what's fun. Bob, do you have any other notes on the game?
Yeah, the mysterious Mr. Bean reference in one of the levels.
Wait, what was the Mr. Bean reference?
I don't recall which level it is or what it's called, but it's the one where you're kind of going through a town.
Yes,
and there's like cars. There's like a sports car. There's like a red sports car you can jump over. But then there's this moment where there's like a yellow Mini Cooper and a one of those 3-wheeler cars that Mr. Bean always hated that are like in an accident. And it's an explicit Mr. Bean reference in the Japanese Nintendo game 1080 Snowboarding that I always found very curious as to how that got in there.
That's got to be these guys, these Argonaut guys, because I think they're British, right?
Yeah.
These damn Brits.
With their constant Mr. Bean references.
That's why Rob Haywood is one of the best guys in the game too. Or is it Haywood? It doesn't matter. Mr. Bean. We'll have to watch some Mr. Bean. I feel like that's appropriate for our show. Yeah. Get into the Beaniverse. McKenna,
Bean 64.
No, that'd be like an April Fool's Day. Well, now we'll ruin it if we say it. I'll cut this out.
Cut it out. Yeah.
Any other thoughts that you had, McKenna, on the game?
I think anything specific? Just a fun, very good vibe game that one I'll be playing some more of.
Yeah, I want to unlock I think some of that stuff I probably can't unlock, but I do want to try to get more of it.
Bring back 1080.
Yeah, I guess
in my opinion.
That's the question I have, is because I guess it's in the shared universe with Wave Race.
Yeah, can we do it like a double?
Well, what happened? Both of those, but they stopped at the GameCube.
Yeah.
Well,
Bob, what's your theory?
Wave Race Blue Storm is great, fantastic.
1080 Avalanche I feel like is quite good as well.
I only played it for the first time last year, and I didn't really dig it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like it felt different. It might have been, I aged out of it, or it was too late for me. But like the licensed music, and it didn't really feel particularly good to me. And
come on, it comes with you get a music video on the disc. I wish I remember what band that was, but yeah, this was like right on the cusp, like of like having like we haven't had much licensed music on the console so far. I think the standout has been Song 2 by Blur. But I actually feel like the licensed or the original music of both Wave Race and 1080 like give it kind of part of its charm, I guess. So
yeah.
I feel like if they did do another one, it wouldn't have that. But to me, it's like I would almost prefer it.
Yeah, because Wave Race Blue Storm did have original music. That's also great.
Maybe that's what did it. Maybe that's why that one was.
That's the key.
But no, it's too bad. It's too bad. I guess I don't know. I guess there's already.
Also, you had SSX by that time take the snowboard crown. So it had to compete with that as opposed to competing with Snowboard Kids and Winter Olympics. And then it just stopped being cool. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, is snowboarding cool anymore?
Or is it normal now? It's just
it might be. It is. It's just like in the Olympics and stuff too. So is skateboarding, but people are excited about new skateboarding. Even though you don't. Well, no, people are generally excited about the Tony Hawks or your skates or whatever. Still,
that still feels like a nostalgia thing to me, though.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
It's not capturing the same kind of mass audience as they were in their prime. It's more that those games were big, so if they release another version of that, I suppose you could say the same thing about snowboarding. It still exists. You could still make, there are still winter sports games that are made, but is it something that Nintendo would be interested in doing? I don't know.
I loved the Wii ski and snowboarding game.
Oh, the balance board.
Now at this point, that's been a long time.
They need to bring that back, maybe.
With a Switch balance board.
Yeah. Release the Switch balance board. That'll solve things.
It'll cost $300.
Oh God, yeah. You have to take out a loan.
There will be a cheaper cardboard version.
Cardboard.
That'll cost $150. It'll be cheaper to just go snowboarding.
I think the real way to revitalize these genres is if they did a friend slot version. Can you imagine friend slot?
I'm sure
snowboarding.
There are some indie. I'm sure there are tons of indie snowboarding games.
You hang out at the lodge.
But yeah, you take a dip in the hot tub.
Yep. Hold hands while you're going down the slopes.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you could all do the what's that the event, the luge?
Oh, yeah.
The bobsled.
Yes.
Where everyone's got to push and jump in at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we've gone far from the realm. But yeah, it's such a I don't have anything else to say about this specifically. I just mainly what you're saying, Bob, and how good it feels still, and what you're saying, we kind of I'm gonna keep playing this for sure. I won't be surprised if this is one of our top N64 games for sure. A lot of fun, and a lot of fun to play with our friends and watch them crash out and stuff like that. A lot of hilarious moments we had.
Yes.
It's a 10 out of 1080.
Nintendo 64 stimulates different emotions every time you play. A feeling of liveliness can be the result of a good gaming experience. However, if you've played badly, everything, even money, can seem worthless. And even a good performance on Nintendo 64 will leave you so invigorated, it can affect hand-to-eye coordination. Don't go out immediately after playing. Get a tradesman to restrain you before resuming normal activities.
No, we'll have to unlock all the other courses on our and the characters on the Switch, so we can play some more multiplayer with those.
Oh, it's got to be easy to do with the save states too.
Yeah.
I won't have to spend some of these on the expert ones. I would spend hours on that, but yeah. Okay. Great game. Yeah, we loved it. We had a lot of fun. Great game.
Thanks for inviting me for a good game, by the way. I don't get to play those very often.
Yeah, how did this stack up to Desperate Housewives?
Oh, Desperate Housewives great though.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the good ones.
I learned a lot watching your video on the Desperate, because I don't know anything about that series or anything. So it was really great to watch with someone who had it seemed like you really dove in head first into that world. So
I'm dedicated to my craft.
Well, yeah, thank you for joining us. Just so everyone knows, I think we already mentioned it, but our next game is Mystical Ninja, starring Goemon. Bob, we were talking about your channel. Is there Is there anything on the horizon that you'd like to promote, or just anything else on your channel you'd like people to go check out?
When is this coming out?
This will come out in early November. So
early November. Okay. By that time, a new video should be up on a very interesting and very educational video game based on a movie based on a Shakespeare play.
Oh, okay.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, cool. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Like I said, I highly recommend people go check out your channel. Do you want to just promote all your stuff where people can find you and everything?
YouTube, Twitch sometimes, and Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Just click the links in the thing. That's the easiest way.
The links will be down there. Yeah. Alien Bob. All right, sweet. Well, yeah, once again, thank you so much for coming on. It was a lot of fun talking to you. We'll definitely, I've got some of your games you're interested in, so we'll have to get you back on in the future. McKenna, great job today.
Great job, you.
Everyone can go check out our stuff, flashback64.com. Check out soundstone.network for some other great shows. And we'll see you when we talk about Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, we are Kirby Conversations, a podcast on Kirby, along with other adjacent subjects like Smash Brothers, HAL Laboratory, and other related Nintendo games.
In each episode, we take an in-depth, well-researched look at a Kirby topic, drawing on our decades of experience playing Kirby games, creating Kirby-related content, and working in and around the video game industry. I'm Sean Douglas. I'm a theater and video game journalist.
And my name's Bridget. I'm an online Kirby commentator and collector.
Our team also includes photographer and Nintendo ambassador Kai Captain Dangerous Parker and Gigi, the editor-in-chief of Wick Kirby. Join us for deep dives into Kirby's history, interviews with industry professionals, and even inside looks at Nintendo, as together we explore all things Kirby and HAL Laboratory. You can find Kirby Conversations on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.